Hello, and welcome to Miss Browning's class. Distance learning is pretty new for all of us, and we might be unsure about how to interact or behave. Here are a few do's and don'ts for expectations I have of students in my classes. I'm sure you already know that the internet can be complicated, and that sometimes we put things out there like Instagram or Facebook posts that we realize later might have been a bad idea. Like people ranting about their jobs. All it takes is a coworker or your boss to see it, and you might not have a job to rant about anymore. What's worse is that even if you remove or delete it, what you say may come back to haunt you later. Screenshots are a thing after all. Take, for example, our current president. Whether or not you support his politics, I think we can all agree his relationship with Putin today makes this tweet from 2014 a little awkward. If it can happen to the President of the United States, it can happen to you. Even private jokes can get out of hand. Take, for instance, this unfortunate college student who gave a funny but inappropriate title to her research paper and forgot to change it before she submitted it to her professor. Imagine how uncomfortable that was for everyone involved. And this doesn't just apply to assignments you have to turn in. Things written in emails, chat bars on Google Meet, and any other online forum easily could get shared with people you wish it hadn't, like teachers and other students. Basically, the moral of the story is, if you wouldn't want your teachers, other students, or even people far in the future to read what you post, the odds are you probably shouldn't post it in the first place. So what does this mean for students in my classes? I can sum it up in 4 simple rules. 1. Think before you write or post anything. Don't put something on the internet that you can't take back. 2. Proofread your assignments before you turn them in, so that your ideas and intent don't get upstaged by spelling and grammar mistakes. 3. Just because we aren't in the school building doesn't mean we don't have to abide by school rules. In fact, Google Classroom and everything we do in connection with it is an extension of the school. Because of this, we must all follow school guidelines about what we say, write, and show others. 4. Make sure everything you post, whether it's an assignment, a comment on a discussion board, or an email or other correspondence, contains appropriate language and images, doesn't reference illegal activities or substances, and is directly related to what we are studying, and backed by solid information. Topic number 2 also concerns basic online etiquette. Sometimes people say things to others on the internet that are hurtful. If you've ever seen Jimmy Kimmel's mean tweets, you know exactly what I mean. People who do this feel safe because they have a certain anonymity. After all, it isn't like the people they're being awful to know them in real life to confront them. Fortunately for us, no one is anonymous on Google Classroom. Everything you post is directly linked to your username and email. Even though it can feel like we're safe from consequences while sitting at home typing on our keyboards, eventually we will all be back in classrooms. Remember, the people you hurt online are eventually going to be sitting right next to you. And the anonymity of the internet will not protect bullies from the consequences of their actions. Basically, be respectful to everyone you talk to, on and off the internet. It costs you nothing to be nice to someone. In my class, being kind and respectful doesn't mean agreeing with everyone all the time. The arts, including theater, are subjective, meaning that one person may think a play is great, while another person might think it's awful. We all get to have our opinions, and we don't have to agree with someone just because they feel differently. However, when we do disagree, we must do it in a way that is calm, polite, and focuses on the art and not the person we're disagreeing with. A good rule of thumb is don't say anything to anyone online that you wouldn't say to their face while standing in front of me. And finally, do not, under any circumstances, participate in online bullying. Making fun of someone due to their race, sexual orientation, physical appearance, or any other part of what makes them who they are will not be tolerated. If you or someone you know is a victim of online bullying, please contact me, another teacher, or a counselor or administrator immediately. Now that we're working from home, it can be easy to become distracted by chores, TV, helping our parents, or playing with our siblings. Unfortunately, just like with regular classes, Your homework and classwork can pile up if you don't stay on top of it. And just like with regular classes, you will receive classwork from every class every school day. So it's important to know what's going on in each of your classes. Google Calendar can help you know when something's due, and Google Tasks and Google Lists can help you keep track of everything you need to do. If you don't know how to use these tools in Google, look up tutorial videos in YouTube, or go to Google Help. You can also ask your teachers. Remember, keeping on top of things keeps you on top, meaning that keeping track of your work and meeting deadlines will help you succeed in class and in life. In my class, keeping on top of things looks like logging into Google Classroom every day to complete assignments and check for announcements. It also looks like paying attention to due dates and completing assignments on time. Remember, if you have questions or are having a technical issue, you must contact me as soon as possible. I'll do my best to get back to you quickly, but if you wait until the last minute to seek help or clarification, you might not be able to turn in your assignment on time. Just because we're in our separate houses doesn't mean we don't get to see one another. In fact, we'll get to meet face-to-face using Google Meet at least once a week. Specific meeting days and times will be announced via Google Classroom. It's important that we set up rules of behavior during these meetings so that they go as smoothly as possible and so that we can cover everything we need to in order for you to be successful the rest of the week. Many of these rules of behavior are the same ones we use when meeting in person, like being on time, paying attention, and participating in discussions. Just like in regular class discussions, you can raise your hand, or maybe wave at the camera, and I'll call on you. This way, we won't all talk over each other. In most ways, our Google meetings will look and feel like regular classes and meetings. We'll talk about the material, and you'll have opportunities to ask and answer questions, discuss ideas with your classmates, and maybe have a few minutes to visit with everyone and catch up on each other's lives. Specific expectations regarding our Google Meet classes include: be on time and prepared to learn and discuss. I will often assign material or questions for you to review or answer in advance of a meeting so that you can be prepared to discuss them with the class. It can be tempting to turn your camera off during the meeting and begin doing something else. However, you must keep your camera on throughout the whole meeting and stay attentive. Unlike your camera, your microphone should be kept off unless you're asking or answering a question or adding something to a group discussion. This is because working from home can be noisy, and it's easier for everyone to concentrate on a meeting if we can limit our background noise. Just like in regular school, you might have to leave the meeting to go to the bathroom or get a drink. And just like in regular school, it is important that you ask the teacher before you go, and to return to the meeting as quickly as possible. I know being comfortable is one of the best parts of working from home. However, like we said before, online learning is really just an extension of the school, and therefore we must follow all school dress guidelines. That means we all need to wear shirts that cover our shoulders and the important bits. If you plan on standing up at any time during the meeting, you'll need school-appropriate bottoms on as well. Like I said before, online learning is still pretty new for all of us, and we'll figure out more about how to interact with one another and behave as we go. There's a saying, for every rule a reason, which basically means that if a rule exists, that something had to happen for that rule to become necessary. For us, that means that these classroom expectations might change or grow depending on the experiences we have while learning online. In the meantime, can you think of any expectations I might have missed? If so, let me know. I am very excited to start this distance learning journey with you, and I know we'll have a lot of fun this semester, if we pay attention, keep up with our work, and communicate respectfully with one another. If you have any questions or concerns about the guidelines and expectations of this class, please feel free to contact me. I'll see you in our next Google Meet!